Welcome to Retro Scale Modelling. My next build is this IS-2 Russian heavy tank by Zvezda. As with my other tanks lately, this is going to be part of the Battle of Kursk build, which the box is just up there on the picture. So let's have a look inside the individual bags here. First of all, we have the instructions with a small decal sheet. The instructions themselves are nicely laid out. I noticed we have to start off with the turret, but I'll probably change it around to the tracks. So it's only 3 pages, and on the back we have the painting markings and the stencil markings. So the bottom of the hull's off the sprue, and the main sprue here, you have all the wheels. There's quite a lot to be done, quite a lot of wheels to be done. The soft plastic track, as I said before, be careful when you're bending these because they can't break. You can't be too careful when you're bending them, hence why I mention it all the time. And the last sprue, we have the turret, guns and so forth. So I'll go off and get these primed, then we'll get on with the build. So I'm going to be starting off with the wheels and the rims, and it's light colours UA7341 black. As you may have seen with all the tanks, this is the colour I always use for the rim and the wheels. For the main colour, I'm using Umbro 117 US light green. Now there could be an argument to be made that it should be a darker green, but once I have it in the diorama, it will look really too dark, hence why I'm using the lighter green. If it was on a static display, I would probably have it in a darker green. So for the tracks, the base colour is 113 Rust by Umbro. This is just the base colour. If you watched any of my tank videos lately, you'll see I'm using the exact same process as I've done on every single one. And I've then gone back to the 117 US light green, and I'm painting it all on the sprue now, from the inside of the wheels to the entire hull section, as you can see there. So it's back to the tracks in 53 gunmetal, and this is just to give it the coat that I need for it to become a metallic look. So I'm just taking the paint, taking any excess off, and then lightly going over the track to give it that metal look. But you also want a bit of the rust to come through as well. I'm also using the gunmetal here to paint the cables and other bare metal parts along the tank. Onto the instruction now, and this one you have to place in the suspension arms and axles first. Each one has its own little recess hole. They can only go in one way. The hole is designed for a curved flat area, so there's no danger of putting it in the wrong angle. They can only go one way, so don't worry if you cut them all off the sprue and find out, mix them all up, you'll be fine. You have to place a couple of brackets here at the front. Get them in as soon as you can. Like all the other tanks are done, you run out of room, so it's best to get them done. And once that's on, it's a good idea now just to put all the other bits and pieces around the wheels before you put the wheels on, because as I say, you run out of space very quickly. Onto the wheels, the actual hole for the wheels for the suspension bar or pin is a little bit tight. You may have to open them up. I had to open up mine, but yours may be different, so I just placed my knife in it and twist it around until the hole's slightly wider. Now with the track, you have to build the wheels on the track, well, partly on the track. So the little stabilizing wheels, this is the part you have to build on. Follow the instructions, have a look at it, because you will have to be quite careful here. Again, I had to open up the recess holes for these, but it's simply placing one wheel in with then the cap before placing the track on. So once the wheels are in, place them onto the hull and the wheel track, and they should fit into their own little points just above the main wheels. Glue these into position and wait until they're set before you start bending the track around. So once that's done, just bend your track around, careful as you go. You may want to put a little bit of cement on each wheel just to hold it in place. Because it's not moving, it doesn't really matter. Bend all the way around, then close it up at the end with a little bit of cement. And once that's done, the outer part of the main wheel just fits on. The original wheel you thought fitted on the outsole should be far enough down. There's a little point in the pin left to grab onto the recess point of the wheel, so they should just be able to pop in and rest against the track. Onto the gun and turret now. First of all, the gun mount. The barrel just goes inside the main unit. It's a little bit tight, so you may have to press down quite firmly for it to click into place. Remember, if you want this free moving, don't use any glue at this stage because you don't want to bung it up. The outer cover is next to go. Now just slides down the barrel and pushes up against the main barrel mount. And once everything's on the mount, it just simply fits in the top part of the turret. There's a little location point for you to guide it in. Next is the collar of the turret, the bottom part. When you're placing this in, don't close it up fully because there's a side gun port that goes on, which is quite difficult to fit before you close it up. It just gets in the way, and it's easier to fit it when it's closed, but it won't fit properly. You need to get a part of the lip inside the actual turret, so you'll have to prise it open slightly to actually put it in. So as you can see there, I've just prized it open a little bit, and I'm just putting in the gun mount in now, and as soon as the part clips inside the turret, then the whole thing closes up nicely. Next to go on the turret is the top hatches. These just fit on in their located area. It shouldn't have any problem. So back to the main part of the tank. There's one or two little parts you have to build up. These are 4-cylinder tanks that I'm making, and it's simply 2 ends onto the middle section. These get placed on the side of the tank. It is actually easier maybe if you wait until you put the hull onto the tank on certain part builds, but this one the instruction says build it before you put the hull onto the main body of the tank, so that's what I did. Generally I would leave these off until the end. Next is the door to the rear hull plating. There was also a bar that goes along here. I took it off because I couldn't quite get the part to fit. I'm not sure whether the bar was meant to be on there or not, but after dry fitting it, I couldn't get it on, so I actually removed it before fitting the door. Then there was a series of tiny little parts going on the hull. If you built a tank before, you know the sort of parts I'm on about. Storage boxes, a spade or a hammer. It hasn't got a hammer on this one, but that sort of thing. They really are too small for my camera to pick it up. And now making up the machine gun that goes on top of the turret. It's a bit small. My fingers are getting in the way a bit there for it to pick up in the camera, unfortunately. But there's 3 parts: the main gun, the shoulder part, and the ammo box. It all goes together, self-explanatory on the instructions. Before we put the body on, you have to put this collar on for the turret. This fits inside of the actual shell of the hull, and then once that's on, the actual turret just clips inside it. There's little angle plates on this plastic, and it grabs the turret as you just press it down. Because the kit is a snap fit kit as well, this inner part has to go on. This has got all your location pins to hold the actual hull into place. You can see there the various recess holes that it goes into. Just line it up and push it in, and you shouldn't have any problems. Mine's lined up perfectly. Next to go on was the cable. Now this goes on the back of the tank. There's 2 little recess holes for the mounted pins, and the main cable then drops below to the belly of the tank, and it goes onto the 2 hooks that I placed on near the beginning of the build. So I'll just bring this up to the camera just so you can see, and the camera can pick it up where it hooks into. And lastly, for the construction, is adding on the machine gun. Now I've added this on, but I may actually take it off when I put the tank in the diorama. Haven't made my mind up yet, but it'll be quite easy just to take off, even though it's cemented in. So all I'm doing now is putting on the decals. As you can see, I fast forwarded it a little bit, just put on a higher speed. Decals are going on the normal way, softening in warm water, a little bit of decal solution on the area, and of course sliding on the decal. Now I'm not putting too much finesse on putting these decals in, because this tank will be a little bit beaten up when I put it in the diorama, so I don't want it to look 100% perfect. Well, I never want my models to look 100% perfect anyway. Well, this will bring this particular build to an end. In fact, this is the last tank I'll be building for the Battle of Kursk diorama. It was a nice little build, this one. I have mixed opinions with the kit so far from Zvezda, or however you pronounce it. So on the whole, they're fairly good kits, but a couple have had some fitting issues. So I would recommend these kits for the moderate to more advanced. The beginner guys may struggle a little bit putting these little kits together. You'd be better maybe with Tamiya, Airfix or Revell for those smaller kits. They're easier to put together. So if you haven't done so already, why don't you check out my channel for the other builds, particularly the ones for the Battle of Kursk diorama that I'm doing. Subscribing to the channel will alert you to any future builds that I've got coming up. I've got 1 or 2 coming up planned this year. Hit that like button, and of course leave a comment, and you never know, make a suggestion. This build that I'm doing was a suggestion, so if I think I can maybe build something that was suggested, I'll definitely look into it and see what I can do. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you all very much for watching. Bye bye.